Our modern age has witnessed the rise of a new threat, the ecological disaster. Huge supertankers carrying many millions of gallons of crude oil have put the oceans and the environment at grave risk. One of the first such disasters took place when fire erupted aboard the tanker Megaborg in June of 1990, and millions of gallons of oil were spilled into the Gulf of Mexico. United States Coast Guard vessels dispatched from the coast of Florida worked for days to contain the expanding oil slick and bring the fires under control. A similar disaster threatened to erupt when in October of 1992, the Green Hill Well, an oil rig off the coast of Prudhoe Bay, Louisiana, caught fire. The blaze continued for days, fueled by the well deep under the seabed, while Coast Guard officials used a variety of methods to stem the free-flowing oil. Another much larger catastrophe took place in Uzbek in the former Soviet Union when an oil well exploded and vast quantities of oil were released to the environment. But the greatest disaster of this kind took place in March of 1989 off the coast of Alaska near the Prince William Sound Nature Preserve. On that day, a message was received from the captain of the Exxon Valdez, one of Exxon's largest supertankers.
Exxon Valdez, Valdez traffic.
Yeah, it's Valdez back. We should be on the radar there. We've fetched up hard ground north of Goose Island off Bligh Reef. And evidently leaking some oil. And we're going to be here for a while.
What the captain referred to as spilling some oil actually involved 6 million gallons of crude that was escaping to the pristine waters of the Alaska coast. The cause of the disaster became clear when Coast Guard divers explored the 937-foot bottom of the tanker. Here, rocks had torn a 10-foot gash across the hull, allowing the oil to flow into the water. The first priority was to offload the 42 million gallons of oil still in the hold of the tanker before it too could spill into the Sound. When this was accomplished, Exxon, the Coast Guard, and the Navy set about containing the rapidly growing oil spill. Using local fishing vessels and other ships, large rubber skimmers were deployed in an effort to contain the oil. Then, planes were dispatched to try to break up the oil with dispersants. But soon thereafter, bad weather grounded the planes. When weather improved, the oil slick had grown too large to be treated with chemicals, and the oil had begun to clog hundreds of small water inlets of the nature preserve. Exxon now called upon every floating vessel in the area to come and assist in the containment. From hundreds of miles, ships and volunteers arrived to deploy massive rings of skimmers around the oil spill. Slowly, gallon by gallon, the scoops attached to the skimmers started to recover the black mass of crude oil at a speed of 200 gallons a minute. Through this coordinated attack, the fish hatchery at Sawmill Bay was saved. But thousands of other wildlife were not as fortunate. Today, the Exxon Valdez still ranks as the worst ecological disaster in U.S. history. Our oceans are at risk. The legendary French marine biologist Jacques Cousteau, who died in 1997, was the first to alert the world to the fact that underwater life is badly polluted, posing a danger to both the oceans and those whose livelihood depend on them.